Let's go! Good morning, chat! Mic check, mic check. Previously on Kimba TV. Yeah, I don't know if some people are gonna try to log it, you know? It would be where you would be able to hold this, hold this, hold this, and then, you know, clean that, and then maybe. I would probably use ATR. Let's see. I think below 786, bro. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I would do it like this. Oh my God, it's 6 in the morning, Jai. How we doing? Kachoya.
You just said.
Kachoya. All right, good morning, lions. Let me just get some of these levels in. What is this?
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Kind of good short right here, huh? Ooh, this is a really good tempting. Really tempting. I gotta look at this shit real quick. What the fuck is ES doing? This is RTH, ETH. Let's put this one on ES, ETH. Point of control. I guess your entry is supposed to be here, huh? Stop loss, maybe like there. All right, how we doing? Good morning. Let me take a sip of this monster, man. Yeah, the only way that you could take the short is if it doesn't clean those highs. You know, so your invalidation, I would think, is your value area high. Maybe you give it a little bit of room for like a overnight clean, but yeah, the short is good as long as you don't touch those. Yeah, and then settlement is all the way down here. You know? Yeah, so if you clean that, then it's over with RTH. Then there's no short, but yeah, it would be nice to come back here from yesterday. It's a little overextended, huh? Nishi, you know I don't really like to trade that crazy on Friday anyway, so like you're Mapetus, Jupiter, Nishi, Grimes, Iruzi, good morning. 1797, what's going on? Blink John says, would a high sweep be extra confluence to the short, or grabbing them is no good? No, then you're going to get the gap fill. So Yeah, anything like here, you're gonna go here. So, it's maybe better to watch. It's probably better to just see how RTH opens. But you can't do it. You can't long anymore here because the RR is off, obviously. So the only thing that you can really do is short Blink John. Yeah, the only like statistical thing that makes sense with good RR would only be a short. So yeah. But it would be nice to get that, and then Monday we can set the low. So still like on the higher time frame, the exact same thing that we had planned. Booty QT Atkins has been looking at same entry but haven't seen any confirmation. Yeah, RTH will tell in 24 minutes. This is your gap right here. So like if it was going to be bearish, it would dip the tip and then let it flip. So we'll know in 23 minutes if it's actually worth doing. And then instead of like trying to have to guess this high, this already, like you don't even have to worry about the entry, right? Because the entry will be at the open. Oops. So this now becomes something like this. And then wherever the 30-minute candle closes is the stop loss, right? Yeah, so let the 30-minute candle come in, and then you have like your ranges. Thorn says, I took 30-minute bullish candle long today. Is there any idea about this bullish candle could send us to 86? Sure. Yeah, make sure you wind and get caught up. If you breach these highs here, then you're going to be aiming for this. The gap. So yeah, that's why like this is like kind of, like you don't really want to go any, because it'll start, this right here will go pink. Yeah, so it depends on this 8 more minutes. This is your 30-minute candle. RTH gap play. So yeah, Thorn, it works the same way. This is your open. So it's either going to doink and doink, and that's your invalidation, or doink and doink, that's your invalidation. Either way, that's your pivot point, and it just depends on where the 30-minute candle closes. Yeah, just another like pop quiz on how to play RTH gap. Are you Arudri said you said there's not really somewhere to long now. I mean, unless you wanted to take the tip. Yeah. I don't know what you don't know, but I guess like if you wanted to really long, like it's right there. When I said that, it was during ETH, Arudri. Yeah, do you know the difference between ETH and RTH? ETH, RTH? Yeah, so that was during ETH, right? Do you know how to play the... So this is bullish, correct? So if you really wanted to long, this is your entry, that's your stop loss. If you want to short, that's your entry, that's your stop loss. Either way, you still need to wait 4 more minutes for the 30-minute candle close. All right. This is by the book RTH gap play. So if you want to nerd out on it this weekend. Sounds good? Rizwan, you good, big boy? Let's go, pink me. It's too easy, chat. It's too easy, chat. Stop. Stop. What the fuck I say? The fuck I say. Got him. Got him. A kachoy. I told y'all I had a bias on SMP. A kachoy. You heard me? I'm pretty sure I drew it like that. When it opens, maybe it's gonna do a little something like this. You never know. What the fuck I say, man?
Zero.
Anyways, you're not arguing with me. You're arguing with math. What the fuck does that mean, man? There's your 30-minute candle close.
Latuche, motherfucker, the math is
Isn't
the
that
math.
crazy? Like the timing of it. Isn't that crazy? The timing of it, chat. Right on that 30-minute close. It's almost like hella people were waiting for the 30-minute candle close and like Marcus smashed. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, put your stop loss. Break even, can't lose, okay? You know there's gonna be motherfuckers that show up an hour from now and be like, you drew that after the fact. Okay. It's gotta be testnet. Yeah. All right. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's, you know, I even said yesterday too, like it doesn't matter if you have a Pico short, like the thing that's going to happen, highest probability, round trip, you know? So it doesn't matter where, if you have Pico top short, Pico bottom long, I mean, that's a shitty low, you know? So whether you have like pixel perfect bottom or pixel perfect short, it's all about just managing risk. All right. So read the data, take the statistically most advantageous opportunity. If it doesn't work out, not that big of a deal. All right, can't lose, chat. Blink John says that's a decent S&P. Well, it's just collecting bad lows, but it's holding VWAP. And you know what I want like point of control to be, right? For the last couple days, I feel like I've been talking about point of control. I need that bitch to be resistance. You know what I mean? So it's not like the best because it didn't actually clean anything. Blink John, but it's more about that goddamn VWAP, man. Yeah. So now we have our second 30-minute candle close, right? So we want to start to build value below. Sounds good? In order for the short to work, yeah, I mean, for Bitcoin short to work, just getting below VWAP is fine. For ES short to work, yeah, we probably just need to, I actually think it's got to get lower than 55.40. Yeah, based off of this. Otherwise, that guy's going to pull it. But yeah, I mean, you guys do what you think is right, okay? I literally did the TA 5 minutes after I woke up. So if you're going to like try to copy trade me and you lose, like that's on you because I literally did TA for 5 seconds. Anyways, I don't care if you took a short. I don't care if you still have your longs. I said it earlier in the morning. It doesn't matter if you have pixel perfect top short, pixel perfect bottom long. The highest probability is that we're all going to get round tripped. We're retail, chat. All right. And to be honest with you, if I keep getting motherfuckers talking about, oh my God, Kimba, thank you for the short. Thank you for the short. I think you're going to get stopped out. If I get 3 more people talking about, oh my God, thank you for the short, I think it's going to bounce from VWAP. It's going to go back to your entry. It's going to stop your ass out, and then it's going to go. And it's going to be like a failed auction off of VWAP. Oh, fuck. Did you get stopped out, Kimba? I'm waiting for that next. I swear to God, if 3 more people fucking, thank you for the short, you're a genius, you're going to get stopped out. That's too many people telling me that shit. We're all going to get stopped out. And you remember what I said about, hey, there's too many motherfuckers? Oh, Kimba, I got stopped out. Kimba, did you get stopped out? Because I got stopped out. I'm already anticipation, my boy.
You just said.
Yeah, Kimbo, did you get stopped out? Because I got stopped out. Fuck! Guys, come on, man. Memory recall, chat. Quit playing with me, chat. It's literally everything we talk about, ladies and gentlemen. You guys digging it? Let me load up the chat here. What do you think about the whole narration? Huh? Literally every single sentence that we talk about. Any questions, you guys, Gucci? Crypto Jammy says literally. Yeah. Voxta says, took your short call and got stopped out at profit. Easy Bugatti money. Yeah. I mean, for example, if you were reading chat, I think, everybody's TP1 got hit. And, what did I say? Too many noobs that don't know what they're doing, right? Celebrating a little bit too early. Yeah. Data. You could kind of tell, like, anytime like a lion cub gets a little bit too excited. You feel me? What do you guys think about if S&P is going to pump, Bitcoin's going to pump? If S&P is going to dump, Bitcoin's going to dump. What'd you think about the bull div? Nice little bull div. It's too easy. Even things like stop loss and profit, can't lose. Yep. What you think, ladies and gentlemen?
Shout out Kimber. Let's
Too
get
easy.
it. Kimber was popping.
Kachoya! The data is the data. Yeah, like I went on a whole spiel about you need to be able to flip quick. So for example, Seeking Lion, what is your threshold for this? Do you know what the threshold is? It's the open. All right, so one, you could have, what do we always say? You need to be prepared, right? So you need to be prepared for worst case scenario. So one, you can't lose on the short, right? I think everybody hit the, TP1, TP2, TP3, and then 25% running, right? So I think everybody's TP1 got hit. You put your stop loss at profit, tiny profit, you can't lose, right? And you're looking at data, bull div, right? I don't know how many times I have to say it, but if S&P is going to pump, Bitcoin's going to pump. All righty. Like literally every single sentence that I said has value for a day like today. It really doesn't get any easier than this. And then obviously, like if this is the RTH, then like I said, this is your entry. If you want to long, that's your invalidation. If you want to short, that's your entry, that's your invalidation. So whether you TP'd here when I said S&P has a hidden bull div, and I drew a line like this and I said that's what it would need to break to lose the bull div. So VWAP and S&P confluence, like, I've been saying it all week, but if S&P is going to pump, Bitcoin's going to pump. If S&P is going to dump, Bitcoin's going to dump. So, how badly do you believe that? Alrighty. And even if you didn't take like the correlative long here, you know what that is, right? Hidden bull div everywhere, right? Even if you didn't take that, the correct play or the basic strategy would be entering there. This is all the shorts that don't know what they're doing, taking a loss. And so now what you need to make sure is you don't get top longers trapped. Do you remember what we said about if we clean this? Highest probability is now to close the gap. So as long as S&P can turn this into support and it doesn't fail auction, then that's your next move. Everything is by the book. It's too easy. Make sense? Haskir says, given this situation, we still on the same plan for Monday? Yes, because now we have to see where settlement is. So where is settlement? Because, I mean, we might, just like here, a bunch of idiots started to get really bearish. You might start to get idiots, you know, at the 7.5 or 7.86. It's all up to S&P. Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, preparation meeting opportunity. Every day, every trade, you have an opportunity to prove it to yourself that you know what you're doing. So some people were like, oh, fuck. For example, if you wanted to chase, that RTH is always going to be your play. That's basically RTH gap play. All right. And the whole concept of you need to be able to have a threshold so you can say, hey, it's not bullish anymore. Hey, it's not bearish anymore. Importante. LTNG says, where is next long entry? You might want to watch yesterday's stream. We already talked about it. So that's a little bit of unpreparedness. I'll help you. I'll give you a hint. So we don't get bullish on the penetration. We get bullish on the retest. I already drew this. Do you know what this is? Do you know what that is? So that, like, we already talked about this yesterday, where we said you may want to market smash here, right? Right? Like, I already drew this 2 days ago. So if you weren't thinking about higher time frame, like, some people are going to be like, why did you market smash 84? What do you mean? You're either going to be like, I don't want to get left behind, or you're going to wait for a retest. We've already been in this situation before with a Trident higher time frame play on a Friday. So you should have already been thinking, okay, like, this is 84 right here. This is 85 right here. Is it worth market smashing? Yes or no? That's why you're looking at this, and that's your invalidation, or that's your invalidation. And it's either you're going to get this gap fill, or you're going to get this gap fill. So you see what I mean by you got to know what you're doing? And the market's always going to figure out if you really know what you're doing or not. But I already drew this. So you gotta be prepared, brother. Yeah. So the same thing that makes me go, okay, this is worth taking a short. When you see this, now you can say, okay, we're getting out of the gap. How many candles did we look at this? Chat, how many 30-minute candles do we like in the gap and go play? Like, what's the maximum amount of 30-minute candle closes that we allow in the gap play? Does it make sense when I say it's too easy? It's just testing what you know, chat. If it really was bearish, the third candle would have done a bearish retest of the open, and it would have made a lower low. Yes? Structure? Arudri says, should the stop loss now be 84K for the bullish retest on Trident? Yes, if Trident is what you're playing. But it depends on your time frame. So that's your bullish retest. Expect something like this. That's your stop loss. And if you really want to play it by the book, that's your stop loss. Cigar says, if I juice this short, you guys gonna get 100 sub gifts again. Cigar, you don't need to do that. But Cigar, I'm rooting for you, regardless if you're longing or shorting. Are you doing are you front running a failed auction? Do you know what you would want to see for the beginning of the failed auction? You want the golden pocket to get lost, right? So you do not want to see buying at the golden pocket. Okay? You don't want this. You want all right. Radizzle says that's exactly what I want. Math is math. We're not here to predict the future. You just need to be prepared. Radizzle, more importantly than what you want, because fuck what we want, right? If we get it, awesome, okay? But as retail, it's not about what we want. What would be worst case scenario for you? Radizzle, if it bounces off of golden pocket, you're not gonna take a loss, right? You can't lose. If it bounces off of the 0.5, you can't lose, right? That's all I care about. You can't lose. You guys know that all of this shit is on the higher time frame, okay? We can even look at it on the 1 hour, okay? But we've been talking about this, all right? So, like, there's a couple of concepts. Let's go over it. Higher time frame planning, Trident. Okay, so a lot of people on the hourly or the 1 hour, especially after you got filled on the RTH gap. Okay, on the RTH gap, you're already thinking, okay, is this the low? Okay, if you are thinking this is the low, you cannot break that structure. It's pixel perfect, right? So this is the rule of the Trident. Okay, look at that. Okay, so I can never convince you of your subconscious bias. You already needed to be bullish or bearish, all right? But that's the Trident play, right? Okay, that's the higher time frame Trident. You with me so far, Blink John? You know this, right? Moosey, you know this. All right. So that's something that we've always been kind of aware of, and you can always, and that's basically what you're watching for the weekend, right? If you actually get follow through. Now, Blink John, do I like longing on Thursday or Friday? When do I prefer to long, Blink John? So if I see bad low, we identified here, okay, what would be the easier risk reward trade? So I already missed the long. If you really wanted the long, you should have taken this long. I already missed the long. The only thing that I can do if we're up here is I know that these are shitty. So I have a clear invalidation. Okay? So invalidation right there. The trade would be the RTH. So do you know how to play RTH gap? RTH gap play. Okay, there's a couple of derivative ideas within the RTH gap play. So this is your open, okay? You can already hear me anticipating certain things. Like I think at RTH open, it could clean before it goes. That's exactly what happened. That's your invalidation. The open of the 30-minute candle close is your entry. TP1 is the VWAP. And you're always trying to look at data. You can even hear me say, wow, too many people are trying to copy trade. Too many people are trying to copy trade. And one of the things we talk about is you need to have a bullish and a bearish narrative. You need to be able to argue both sides. Okay? So with the RTH play, if you're gonna try to short that, and it would be the same thing if you were gonna try to do the opposite, say on FOMC. This is all basic by the book strategy. And we do this every single time. So Moosey, I don't want you to memorize what I did. I want you to understand, and you'll never have to ask me where I entered, how I shorted, what my invalidation was, okay? So the open is the entry. That is your invalidation, okay? And what you want to try to do is the longer that you spend time in a gap, the higher probability you have to rotate to the other side. Okay, do you understand that? This is all going to fall under RTH gap play. Okay, so on the third, ironically, 30-minute candle close, it broke back out. Okay, so that would be your first trigger to be able to say, fuck, the bullish gap is actually going to play out and I need to flip, right? Because if you know, this is a bullish gap, which means that if it dips the tip and it gets out, that's bullish. Also, confluence with right there, I said there's an S&P bull div. It was a hidden bull div. And I drew a line like this and I said, we have to break that. And this was when this was pulling back from this Boo Gamma and it made another higher low. So look, what do we say is the number one confluence on a week like this week? S&P, right? S&P dumps, Bitcoin dumps. S&P pumps, Bitcoin pumps. So S&P, hidden bull div, Bitcoin, hidden bull div, and VWAP. All right, so that's why it's so important to put your stop loss at break even or take profit. You should never let a green trade turn red, and you always need to be shaving a little bit. VWAP is the most obvious first level of support. I always talk about if we don't turn VWAP, if we don't get above VWAP, if we don't get below VWAP, I'm not bullish, I'm not bearish. How many times have you guys heard me say that? And even abstract stuff, like it's not about being right or wrong. It's not about being bullish or bearish. You have to be able to react, and it's about having good risk management. All right. So, there was an opportunity, and you can actually hear me say, somebody was like, but why wouldn't we want to short the, somebody was like, why are you shorting before? You know, I think that was the most common question because people wanted to, I think like short the swing fail, right? And my answer was, as soon as we fucking start tapping those stop losses, it's going to go brink. And look what it did. So if you don't believe that as much as I do, if you haven't seen that as much as I do, the same way I wanted to short before those got cleaned, and the stop loss would be to get stopped out before that guy gets stopped out. You might not want to long when I would market smash long when it's breaking that. Make sense? And again, the only reason why you would market smash here is if you didn't think it was going to do a bullish retest, right? The question would be, do you really think it's that bullish if it does it on a Friday? You know, it would be different if it was Monday or Tuesday. Then I would be like, yo, it might not even do a bullish retest. And so if you're talking about like where we would short next, then you have levels identified. So there are lions that are already short from the golden pocket, and they are front running the failed auction. Okay? A failed auction is confirmed when it breaks the line. So, like this. When it makes a lower low, that is when you are confirming a failed auction. So, a lot of work to do. What you don't want to see as somebody that is shorting from there or front running the failed auction is you don't want to bounce from this golden pocket. All right. So that's where we are. If you really, really wanted to short, maybe you put some limits there. I think the most obvious would have been the golden pocket because your invalidation is there, right? I would think, if you're scalping like that, you did shave a little bit at that golden pocket and your stop loss is already at break even. You can't lose. It's just Friday bing bong ding dong. So for example, let me give you an example. Who was that was asking for that, by the way? Fred. Like a week wrap up. Oh, okay. It made this. It looked, all it did, brother, is cleaned. So structure is higher, low, higher, highs. That's it. That's it. And it's you know what's crazy, Fred? They left it as a to be continued ... for this. That's it, Fred. That's pretty much the whole week, brother. So you got the gap fill, right? You got the RTH gap fill. You have structure, right? I mean, do you know how to play tridents? So things are looking good. Things take time, it's still the same plan as before, man. I've got levels, and on Monday, I'll be looking to long. Yep, and whether it's a so here's a couple of other things that Fred that you might want to take away from. One is that a good high or a bad high? You do know that they did not clean or grab the full RTH gap. RTH is closed now. I mean, there's still 5 more minutes of aftermarket. Okay? And then we also have a gap. And then do you remember what I said about the low down there? So the low is a ETH low, right? So this is RTH. This is ETH because this is ETH. If you look at it on RTH, that's the RTH. ETH. So the low is electronic after hours trading low. So those are your sort of data points that are not arguable. And each of those components increase or decrease the probability that we could still go lower or that the structure is going to hold. Do you know what the next sort of piece of information would be, Fred? Futures are running for 49 more minutes. So you can take a look at where CME ETH settles for the weekend. Okay? And then on Sunday, when CME opens, it's going to be ETH, gap play, yes or no. The biggest one is going to be, after that point, it's going to be the RTH, gap play, and go. And just like how we did it today, if it dips the tip, you know where the entry is for the short, you know where the invalidation is. If it starts to rip, you know where the long entry is. You know what the invalidation is on the long. Let's make sure that we're doing the fucking, okay? We're not getting fucked. So the most important thing is if you lose a position, I can work with that. If you lose a little bit of money, that's fine. But if you lose yourself, there's nothing I can do, you know? So staying emotionally composed, trying to think of worst case scenario, focusing on managing risk, you know? If you can hold yourself accountable and do the right thing, I promise, even if you just round trip all day, you're going to be pretty proud of how the day ended up. So let's enjoy. Let's be prepared. Let's have some fun. 22 minutes left, and then CME is going to pause, ladies and gentlemen. So keep an eye on where. Look at this. Pink. God damn. Picks. So, you know, if you're really bearish, for example, you guys bears should be able to reject off of the previous golden pocket, right? Like this. And are you taking my word for it, or have you seen it? Chat. I can't predict. None of us is going to know if that really is going to be resistance or if that's going to end up turning into support, right? We don't. But if you had a bearish bias and you still didn't take a short, you had a shot right there. You still have a shot right here. But I would hope that you were already anticipating a hidden bear div, you know? You got to understand that in 21 minutes, CME is going to pause. It might be a little bit better to wait at least 90 more minutes. But, you know, like, you see how, like, it's just about anticipating and preparing? So if you really wanted to take a shot, you know, or maybe you're in a long, or maybe you're in a whatever, but, you know, we're all looking at the same shit. So pretty cool, right? I feel like, when was the first time we even fucking talked about the lower low hitting the golden pocket? Wasn't that like 4 hours ago? So, you know, I'm going to try to get caught up on sleep as much as I can so I can give you guys my best. Lions, do you know what's going to happen if you don't have good stop loss on risk management, right? Sato's going to slap the shit out of you. Hey, enjoy the weekend. Love you guys. Have a great night. Peace, everybody.